right, while we're at it, will everyone stand up wherever you are? We're gonna get ourselves moving and grooving in this interactive session. So just find your comfy place and you're gonna roll your shoulders forward a couple times. It's kind of late in the day. Roll your shoulders back. Oh, I love it. Bring your head off to the side and to the other side. And get your body percussion, arms and legs ready to move because we are going to learn a body percussion beat. And it will be just ours here in this session, except for when you take it to your classroom. So my turn first. I would like for us to do a stomp, clap, clap. Try it and stomp, clap, clap. One more time, stomp, clap, clap. You got this. Okay, so we are gonna have that twice. Can you do it 2 times in a row? I turned on my Siri. I don't know how I did that. Will you try that 2 times in a row? Ready? Here we go. Stomp, clap, clap, and stomp, clap. Fabulous. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So you're gonna turn your body into a drum, and it's gonna go clap, hit. Ready, and clap, hit. Now you need to really hit your chest hard. This is our bass drum. Ready? Here you go. Clap, hit. One more time. Clap, hit. All right, so now we are gonna start with this. We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. Can you say that? Here you go. We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. Now, if you're a fierce conductor, will you give me a thumbs up really, really big in your camera? If you are a fierce conductor or a fierce educator, really, really big. Oh, Katie, I love how big your thumb is. Yes. So we are going to have, we got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. It goes stomp, clap, clap. Try. Stomp, clap, clap. Again. Stomp, clap, clap. Okay, I changed it up on you. Ready? So instead of having, we're going to have stomp, clap, clap. Go. Stomp, clap, clap. Can you start from the beginning? We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. It goes stomp, clap, and stomp, clap, clap. Oh, I love the smiles that we have going in. Can you add a little sass to your body percussion? A little sass. We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. It goes stomp, clap, stomp, clap. Now you're ready for the hard part? Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap. You got it? We'll go a little slow. Goes. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap. Again. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap. Last time. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap. Now, if you are one of those people that is really good on one side, we're going to challenge you to try it on the other side. So, one side, this is your good side. First, ready, here we go. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap, switch, clap, hit, clap, hit, snap. Oh man, I tricked you on the last bit. Add a snap at the end. You ready? Here we go. On your good side, here we go. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap, switch, clap, hit, clap, hit, snap. And oh, I love that we had like some sass that went into the back there. Will you show me your sassiest snap? Here you go, and snap. Yes, I love it. So can you try from the very beginning? We got this. We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. It goes stomp, clap, and stomp, clap, hard part, and clap, hit, clap, hit, clap, switch, clap, hit, clap, hit, snap. Hey, give me a thumb meter. If you're feeling like, oh, I got this, give me a thumbs up. If you're like, I could do it with one more time, give me a middle. You're going, I have no clue what's going on. Don't you worry about it, but you can be down. That's okay. I'm seeing some middles. I'm seeing some ups. Can we try it one more time? Ready? Here we go. We got the beat, the fierce conductor beat. It goes stomp, clap, clap, and stomp. Stomp, clap, go. Clap, hit, clap, hit, clap, switch, clap, hit, clap, hit, snap. Oh, I love our energy today. Everyone have a seat. I am so excited to be able to share that body percussion rhythm with you because you can bring that back to your classroom. Now, are all your kids fierce conductors? Probably not yet, but you might get some in the future. But that's okay because you can change the words to that. Make it your school mascot. Make it your school name. Make it your choir name. Whatever you want it to be, you can make that your own. And the best part about it, get the kids to be creative. Once you've got that for all of your ensembles, all of your classes, get it going so that the kids make up their own body percussion rhythms. Cool? Oh, we are so excited that you are here. Maria, take it over.
Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our session today. We are so excited. This session is called From Fearful to Fierce, Conquering K-12 Virtual Music. Morgan and I had this crazy idea, and we'll kind of give you a little backstory of what we did. I had the privilege of running summer camps for the last few years at my school, University of Missouri, St. Louis, and then running camps for the St. Louis Children's Choirs. And I said, I want to do my own summer camp. Now, when I was planning this, I had no clue that we would be in pandemic and there'd be COVIDs and shutdowns and all that kind of stuff. I just thought I was going to be in St. Louis running a camp. But that's not the story. That's not what happened. So I had this idea. I want to have this virtual summer camp because I wanted kids to be inspired and to be motivated to still do music, even though we were shut down. And so Morgan, who I just met last year at CME, the Choral Music Experience up in Michigan, we were doing a girls' day happy hour thing, and she was like, I want to do something for the summer, and I was in the background going, summer camp. And so she called me and she's like, Maria, I want to do a summer camp. And I was like, yay, let's do it. And we were super ambitious. We were like, let's do 3rd through 12th grade. And she was like, can you think we can do it? And I was like, yeah, let's go. We got this. And she said, well, what are we going to do it on? And I said, music composition. And she said, well, neither one of us are composers. I said, but that's okay. It'll be fine. We can do this. And so we got to work. And we planned this camp and we posted it on Facebook and Instagram. And all of a sudden we had 23 girls signed up. We had a wait list of girls who were waiting to get into the camp. And I was like, Morgan, I think we're on to something. And so we did it for the elementary level and then the middle school level and then for the high school level. And it was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best things that I've done since pandemic. And so what we decided to do was to share that with you all, share some tidbits of how we did it, the mistakes that we made, the pivots that we made. We want to give you all the, what they call it, the tea. Do people still say tea? We're going to give you all the tea of how we did this and let you know that we were fearful in the beginning. We were scared to death. But not only were we scared, the students were scared as well. But that was day one. By day 5, we were old pros and we were ready to go. And we want to share that with you all today. So we're going to tell you how we started the sessions. Once I can get my handy dandy note card back up. Everything that we did, the first thing that we did every day is we started with music every day. Every day we started with music. We listened to songs carefully. And I want you all to make sure that you all hear us. We listened to songs carefully because what you may think is a good song, if you actually listen to the lyrics, it may not really be a good song. So we really like went through all the different types of music and made sure that we had music that was age appropriate. Mm-hmm. We let the girls know, and this camp was only for girls because, you know, we're girl conductors. So we only did it for girls, but we let the girls know that, you know, like this is something that is new to us too. So we're probably going to mess up. And if we do, we're going to laugh and we're going to keep going and it's going to be okay. And I think the girls were accepting to us that because we came out and said, this is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be like what you do in normal school and normal summer camp. And because they were so accepting of us, it gave us that kind of that airway to breathe and say, okay, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. But we started with music. We planned.
Yeah, it was all about planning. Holy smokes. So we decided to do this, like 3 weeks before camp started? Mm-hmm. And so this was completely out of the blue. So all of you that are teachers, has anyone already started school? Raise your hand if you've already started school. Oh, you are amazing humans. Folks that are about to start school. Folks that are heading to school probably in a couple weeks-ish. Okay, we've got a little bit of everything and I love that. So we didn't have much time to plan. And we were at the very beginning of this COVID time where we had never even been on a Zoom call. We didn't know what was going on at all. And so therefore, if we can do it, we believe that you can do it. And you are amazing just for being here and trying to learn things. So we planned. And like I said, for this session, we have K-12 educators from across the world, actually, that are sitting here, which is super cool. But the key to making everything successful is planning. And what we ended up doing is planning a little bit far ahead, and then we stepped back. So we went through and we put an outline together for our week. We're like, okay, so we have 5 days that we want to plan. What are the general ideas we want to talk about? Okay, so this is a composition camp. So we kind of broke it down. Okay, composition. First, you have lyrics, you have text. That's pretty accessible. Then we went into melody. Okay, we can create a melody. That's not too bad. Okay, take it a step deeper and you get into harmony. Okay, harmony, so that'll be day 3. Okay, so we've got our melody, we've got our lyrics, we've got our harmony. Oh, we need to add some form because we need to make it interesting, because if we just sing the same thing over and over, it's not going to be interesting. So by day 4, we were talking about form, and by day 5, we had to put it all together. We did that 3 weeks ahead, right, Maria?
Right.
But then, that's all we had.
And we put it, we knew what we knew what we did know, and then we knew what we didn't know. And so you know what we did? We called the experts. So we called Susan Brumfield, and we called a few of our other composer friends. We was like, hey, we're doing the summer camp. You mind giving us 15 minutes of your time to jump on and just talk to the girls? And everybody we called was like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, we'll do that. And we used them. Now we didn't do that for elementary. So we're gonna talk about what we did for elementary, middle, and high school, but we did call our composer friends for middle and high school.
We did, and they were so amazing to give their time. They really were.
Which was amazing. But not only did we plan our lessons, we planned our technology. So one thing that we did, especially with our elementary groups, is we wanted to run that kind of like a TV show. I am like a big kid when it comes to teaching. And I know what keeps my nephews and my children engaged. So I know that I had to be high energy, I had to be high impact. And so we planned just like we were doing a TV show. We had costume changes, we had science experiments. There were things that we did together. There were times when Morgan was doing a game, and I would go and change into an Afro wig or something like that, and come back and do another spot. But we kept things changing. So every few minutes, we were keeping things changing. We also were reading the room. So just like in a regular classroom, you can tell when your kids are zoning out. And if I was on the screen and I saw somebody's toes now creeping up on the screen, then I know I need to get them people up and moving and grooving. So we did those type of things. We planned for all of that. Then we tested our technology. So we would have calls where I say, okay, Morgan, let's run through this day. How's my setup here? Okay, my setup here is great. No, Maria, your setup is not good. Wait, Morgan, I can't hear the music you're playing, which happened every morning. Morgan, wait, I can't hear that. And so we would have to reset it and make sure that our music was right. But we tested all of that before we had the girls on the call, because we wanted to look as professional and as put together as we could. Go ahead, Morgan.
Help your teacher friends. We are all here to help each other. Call a friend and they'll be willing to help you in your classroom. Just test it out and make sure that you know how the Zoom technology works, or Microsoft, or whatever you happen to be using. Collaborate. We're all here for each other. So we got together and we did a Zoom test run, which I'm going to tell you now was a 3-hour epic fail. Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This was the Friday before camp. We did a 3-hour Zoom session where everything went wrong. Everything went wrong, and that was okay, because we came back on Sunday. We're like, okay, now we know what we're doing, and we ran the program, and everything was fabulous. So you just test with whatever you happen to have in your school, and work with the folks that you have. So we went 3 weeks ahead and came up with the big plan. So the overarching, this is what we want our kids to know. Then we came back a week ahead of time. We're like, okay, so what are some activities? How can we get them involved with those big themes? And then the day before, or 2 days before, 3 days before, whatever happened to be, that's when we really, really dove into, okay, how are we going to make sure that these students are empowered all the way through? That they're not just passive learners throughout all this, they're being super active in their learning. And by that point, we had a pretty darn good camp to get started. And we want to show you, we want you to leave with some things that were successful for us as you go forward.
So one of the first things that I like to do, whether we're COVID or whether you're in person, is I love getting to know people's names. And And it was important for us to build connection right away because we're virtual and I don't know you. And we had girls from all across the country. So from New York to California and everywhere in between, we had girls. So we had to do, the quickest thing to do was to learn everybody's name. So we do something called Tell Me Something Good. I'll do it with a few of you all. So I'll call who I can see on the screen. I'll just say your name, but I'll teach you the activity. So this is from Shaka Khan, Stevie Wonder's song, Tell Me Something Good. Simple, it goes like this. Tell me something good, clap. So then I would call on somebody and they would have to tell me their name, the state they were from, and something good about them. Now, you always get those people like, nothing is good in my life right now. Well, you breathing, so something is good right now. So you have to tell me something good. It can't be it can't be that. Well, you gotta tell me something. So I'm gonna use Stephanie Wigand. I think I said it right. I'll use you first. Then I'll go to Heather Hamilton and then Larissa Young. That's who I'm calling on. All right. So here we go. Stephanie, you're first. Remember, you're going to tell me your name, the state you're from, and tell me something good. Tell me something about yourself. All right. Here we go. 2, 3, and we're all singing. Tell me something good.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm from Vermont, and my family is all healthy right now.
All right. Stephanie is from Vermont. Stephanie, will you please take your name off of your screen? Change your name to something else. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to remember names when I'm doing this as well. So Stephanie's going to take her name out. I'm going to Heather Hamilton next. Everybody is singing. 1, 2, 3. All singing now. Tell me something good. Heather.
My name's Heather Hamilton. I am from Illinois, and I just recently dyed part of my hair purple, but you can't see it, but it's fun.
Come on, purple hair. Okay. All right, Heather, change your name for me. All right, and the last person wants to Miss Larissa Young. I'm coming to you next. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Everybody singing. Tell me something good. Okay, Larissa, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And this happens. So we're on a call. You can't hear the person. Larissa, can you try it again? She said she can't. She don't know what's going on. All right, Larissa, I'll come back to you because it seems like you're having an issue right now. I'll go to Rachel Cone. I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but Rachel, here we go. 1, 2, everybody's singing now. Tell me something good.
My name is Rachel. I'm from the state of New Jersey, and I had the whole day off today to read and listen to music.
Awesome. It's nice to meet you, Rachel. So the first person we had my good friend who was from Vermont, who I got to see if I can remember her name. And I know we don't get stomped like this, but I'm trying my best to remember her name. Oh, gosh, I'll come back to you.
Starts with an S.
That again?
Starts with an S.
You're cheating, Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan, you cheating. I know it started with an S.
Okay.
But that's okay, because Heather's from Illinois and Rachel is from New Jersey. And oh my God, I never get this wrong. I'm normally good at this. I normally guess everybody's name. Honey, you got to help me because I don't know what it is. I don't know. But the game is, you guys tell me your name. You got to unmute. I'm sorry.
Stephanie.
Oh, it was Stephanie. God, see, I should have said that. Okay, but the name of the game is Tell Me Something Good. And what I'm doing is I'm learning everybody's name and I'm learning something about them. Because I want to be able to go back and say, Heather, now, I know you're not going to be shy. You got purple hair. Now, that don't work on a call. Your hair is purple. You're going to stand out. But I want to be able to give some type of attribute about that student based off what they told me. So if you're telling me that you're a Harry Potter fan, I'm your girl. I'm a Harry Potter girl. I can find some type of way to relate to you. But then also, when I'm calling names, the kids are like, look, she better not mess my name up. She got to get my name right, because once I get their name right, that tells them that I know them. And if there's a name that I can't get right, or if I get stomped, then that makes them feel like, oh my gosh, she didn't remember me. So I do my best to never, ever get stumped. Stephanie, you got me. But I never, ever get stumped. I try really hard to make that. We're going to make that available to you. Some of these activities will be available to you later on for purchase. But that's something that you can do. You can use Tell Me Something Good in so many different ways. Not only use it to learn their names and things like that, you can also teach a whole lesson about Shaka Khan and Stevie Wonder, some of the greatest musicians in the world. So keep that in mind as well. So Number one, learn the students' names without their names being on the screen. Learn to call them by name. There you go, Morgan.
So that was the biggest thing for us, is getting them interacting from the get-go. So I don't know about y'all. Have you, when you go onto a Zoom meeting, to me, there is nothing more awkward than the 5 minutes of silence before the Zoom call starts. And everyone's just kind of sitting there like, hey, how's it going? Or like looking at their phones, and everyone's immediately disengaged before anything's even started. So getting started with that music and making sure that you share your computer sound was a really, really good trick for us. And we also recommend, since we were at camp, we didn't use it this way, but you can use those first few minutes of sharing music as a chance to not only dance party, but also use it as a writing background. Have a prompt up on your screen saying, here's what we're going to be writing about today, and have them write into it. If you're a Google school, have a Google Doc for every student that is only shared between you and that student. So they know that they're writing just to you and for themselves, and they don't feel like they're being exposed to everyone in the class. But it also gets them thinking from the very get-go. And also it's a place where you can connect with them outside of class and be able to write little comments back to them. Just a really good way to get it started. So immediately after our dance party, we went into something like the body percussion, where we got the beat, and then we would do tell me something good to get their names. That is when we would get into the rules, introducing ourselves, all of that, so that they're immediately engaged and they're gonna start watching you and listening to what you have to say, because that's what they had to do from the get-go. So Maria, tell them about our rules and how we made that happen. You're muted, my friend.
Oh, okay, now I'm back. Okay, so the next thing we did is we laid down the law, but it wasn't like mean law like that, but we let the kids get comfortable in their spaces. So the first thing we told them is find a space of your own where you can be you. And that could be anywhere in your house. So we had some kids who were in the bedroom. We had one girl who was in the bathroom. That was her space. I'm here for it. But find a space that could be you. And we weren't restrictive of where they could be, because everybody's space is different. So find a space where you can be you, where you can feel like you really can express yourself. We let them change their names, because again, I already know everybody's name. So I had one girl who called herself the Cat Queen. Well, I knew her real name, but if you want to be the Cat Queen on the Zoom, that didn't bother me. And if that made her feel more comfortable, that's fine. That really didn't bother me. She was engaged the whole camp, but we just called her by her nickname, the Cat Queen, and it worked. So we let them change their names. We used the chat function when we wanted to, and we shut it down when we didn't want them to. So for elementary camp, we used the chat in the beginning when we were doing the dance party. We used the option where they could chat with us and each other, but they could not chat privately. Well, why you do that, Maria? Well, because I didn't want somebody to be bullied or something, and I can't control that. If it's private, I can't control it. So you can talk to me or Miss Morgan. You can talk to each other out loud, but you can't talk to everybody privately. And that was just for me, because I just wanted to be in control of the environment. And then after our dance party, we shut the chat off. They could only contact me or Miss Morgan. And then there were activities where we allowed them to have the chat back on. If you wanted to, like when we did a talent show, and all the girls they had like 30 seconds after everybody performed to flood the chat with positivity. So every time somebody would perform, you had 30 seconds to fill it up with all type of positive things that they did. And then when that was over, we shut the chat back off. I see in the chat, people are saying that some students cannot change their names. I get that, which is fine. You do what you have to do for your school, but because it was camp, I wasn't lenient. I was lenient on the name thing. I just wanted them to have fun. That's what we were getting into. We allowed them to choose whether or not they had their videos on or off. We recommended that videos were on. I've seen on social media where people are saying, oh no, it's an invasion of privacy to make them have their videos on. You know, you do what you have to do for your community. All of our girls were willing to have their video on. If something was happening and they needed to shut the video off, all they had to do was send us a message and say, this is going on. I need to turn my video off. And we were very respectful. with our elementary camps, what's so fun, and this is how you know you're doing something good, because the parents would be involved. Like you'll see a parent kind of sneak in to kind of see like what we were doing. I see, and finally we just told parents, if you want to join, that's fine. Get on your Zoom session and go and join. We'll let you participate. You ain't got nothing else to do. So we would let parents watch and be a part of as well if they wanted to, if the kids were comfortable with that. So in our middle school camp, we had one parent who wanted to get on, and her daughter was like, no, this is my time. You are not getting on my session. So we let the kids kind of be in control of that space. So we did that as well. For middle school and high school, mostly high school though, we kept the chat on for them. But again, they could only talk to each other and us, nothing private, no private chats. We also, after we went through all the rules and opening up for the dance part and stuff like that, we got them to log on a few minutes early so they could dance out with us. And we danced. So one morning we got up and we did the cha-cha slide, and the whole room was up doing the cha-cha slide. We just made it super, super fun. And remember, it's just like it's your own classroom. So whatever you make it, if you make it dull and dry, then your session is going to be dull and dry. But if you got these kids who are used to being entertained with YouTubes and Roblox and video games and all this other type of stuff, TV shows and stuff that are interactive, you got to have that same energy in your teaching. So we gave them lots and lots and lots of interactive moments. Go Morgan.
Just like this one. So we did some writing examples, mostly for middle school and high school. So we want to have a moment with you. We want to get to know a little bit more about you. So this is your moment to use the chat, if you feel so comfortable. We would love for you to use the chat and tell us, what is your main goal this year for your students? What is the environment that you want to foster in your classroom this year? Whether that's virtual or hybrid or in person, whatever it might be, just throw out some words. It doesn't have to be a full paragraph. It doesn't have to be a sentence even. Just a couple words about what you want your classroom to be this year. As we're doing that, I'm gonna have a little. Community, feeling happy and safe, empathy, connection, positivity, motivation. Music does not have to stop, yes. Oh, engaging, loving, letting them express themselves, yes. Nonstop energy, fun, inviting. Oh, you guys have some great words. Yes, creativity into their home space. Oh, connecting with students you've never met before. That was one of my favorite things from this year, from doing this camp, meeting kids from all over the country. Relationships, being successful and creative. Slash, if you can put this song somewhere into your classroom, making them love music and continue music making. Yes. Oh, I love it. We have so many great ideas here. So you can use this. I have a feeling, I'm gonna I have a feeling that you guys are here for the students, right? You guys have a pure and just unbelievable love for your students, and that's why you're here, because you want to have the best experience with them. So my elementary friends, let's do a little bit of a listening game. Okay, so I'm going to scoot my thing back a little bit. It's going to be a little bit of listening and a little bit of moving, okay? This is something I used in my classroom, even in person, but you can do it on Zoom too, and it's twice as fun, or Google Classroom or whatever it might be. It's twice as fun because everyone moves at a different time. So, my little elementary friends, I want you to raise your hand every time you hear the letter B. Are you ready? Let's practice. B. Oh, that was a little slow. Here we go. B. 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 Okay, you got this. Okay. So I'm going to sing a song for us, and I want you to raise your hand every time you hear the letter B. Are you ready? Listening very, very closely. My bonnie lies over the ocean. My bonnie lies over the sea. My bonnie lies over the ocean. So bring back my bonnie to me. Oh, good try. Bring back, oh, bring back my bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my bonnie to me. Oh, no, to me, is there a B? Hold hold on. Do you hear a B in to me? Give me a thumbs down if you hear no. Here, give me a thumbs up if you hear a B in to me. Do you hear a B? You got this. Thumbs down on that. Okay, so you would go on with this for a little while, depending on what your elementary age is. Then, as you're getting into your 5th and 6th graders that are thinking, too good for that, you get to turn it into a tempo game where they will stand or sit on every B they hear. Are you ready? We're gonna go really fast because we're brilliant music educators. Here we go. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. So bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, Whoops. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Did you all end sitting? Fabulous. Okay, you'll notice if you look around your Zoom screen, you have people laughing, right? They're laughing and being silly and it's just ridiculous, but you're getting your kids to listen. And if you're giving a good vocal model, they're also hearing good head voice. Eventually have them sing along with you to stay on mute all the way through. Oh yes, I know, Martha, right there with you. It's good quad workout for you, especially if you do that with all of your classes throughout the whole day. Holy smokes, y'all. We're gonna be the most fit educators of all, except for maybe the gym teachers, but other than that. Okay, so that's a little elementary game to get them moving, grooving, and listening to you because they have to watch. For our middle school and high school, oh, yes.
No, I want to show them the high school game that we did.
Oh, good, okay.
Okay, so we did this one in middle school and high school. This is Rollo Dilworth's Lean Forward, Relax, Roll Shoulders Back. You can find this on YouTube, but it's simple. And this, you all don't have to do it with me. You can just watch, but this starts off lean, and this is the alto line. Make sure lean forward. Okay, here we go. Lean forward, relax, roll shoulders back. Lean forward, relax, roll shoulders back. And I keep alto singing that. And now sopranos, lean forward and just relax. You slow it down, then you roll shoulders. Then you what? Just roll them back. If I have basses, my basses are singing posture, posture. If they're doing an octave lower, posture, posture. And my tenor singing, let's fix our posture like that. Let's fix our posture like that. And you can have all 4 parts going. Now again, they're not singing, they all stay on mute, but that's the way that you can engage your SSA, SATB, whoever. That way you can break it down, tenor 1, tenor 2, baritone, bass, break it down so you use it with your high school and middle school kids as well. Now, your high school kids, especially, they like My Bonnie as well. Like they get into all the little nursery, the stuff that we think is too kiddie for them, they get into it. Your middle school kids, you just got to do a little more convincing with them, but they will get into it as well. So that's another thing. That's another song that you can use. Okay, go ahead, Morgan.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up because we're going to talk a little bit about rounds later on and how you make that happen within a virtual setting when everyone's muted. So what Maria ended up doing for that Rollo Dilworth song is using the acapella app, and she recorded herself singing each part so that when you play it through the acapella app, which is free, by the way, if you play it through the acapella app, then all the kids are hearing every part and they get to sing with just theirs, but they feel like they're singing with the rest of their classroom. A little bit more work on the front end, but I'll show you a round that I made in 3 minutes just before the session started today. It's not as much work as you think it is. So what we did with those middle school and high schoolers is we really focused on improv, because what's scarier than anything to me? Improv. There is nothing more terrifying than having to put yourself out there without having time to plan and color code and have it perfectly scheduled out the way that you want it to be. If there's anyone else that is like me, yes, I know the feeling. So what we want to get our kids doing is improving and realizing, just like we make mistakes all the time, they can make mistakes, and that is okay, and that's encouraged because that means they're learning. So what we did is we did a couple different improv games every single day, and we're going to have a little bit more on this bundle later on going. But what we had for one of our games was an object improv, where we gave them 2 minutes flat. Turn off your videos, turn your microphone on mute. You have 2 minutes to find something that means something to you in your house. Go, right? So that's what we had them do. They all like quickly turned their cameras off and ran. Not all of them muted so we could hear them running, but they went and they found something that meant something to them. We had everything from a paintbrush, we had stuffed animals, we had candles, cats. Yeah, beware, some of them will try to bring siblings and cats. Doesn't always work as well as they might be thinking. So you have them go get something that means something to them and bring it back. Don't tell them why. They get to share a little bit of who they are, and you're gonna have them improv because we want them to improv about whatever it is that means something to them. And so what we did, we said, okay, now you have another minute to stay on mute. And we wanna see your lips moving, but you're gonna create a melody about your object. It can have words, it could not have words. Whatever you want it to be, it's just gonna be a real quick melody that is not perfect. And we would show them an example. So Miss Maria was brilliant. And you know what her object was, y'all? The washing machine. Oh yes, her object was the washing machine. So she made a song about it. And she ended up adding some accompaniment to it. And so we want to just play a little bit of that for you so you can get a feel for what these students can create. It means nothing, but it gets them laughing and thinking outside the box.
I can sing with washing machine. I can sing with the 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 washing machine. My clothes are clean. I can sing with the washing machine. I can sing with the washing machine. Yeah, yeah, with the washing machine. I can sing, I can sing. Oh yeah, when my clothes are so clean, I can sing. Can you sing? We can sing with the washing machine. Yeah.
Yes, claps for Maria. Yes. Oh, there's so much love happening in the chat right now and I'm loving it. So what we did after we had them bring their objects is we played that song and we're like, okay, are these meaningful lyrics? Is this something that's gonna be on the radio? And it's just like, yes, this is my power song. No, but it's awesome and we love it and it makes us smile. So showing them that they can make something totally silly out of an object that's right there in their house. And if you have those kids that are thinking, I don't wanna sing, that's okay. We had a girl that wrote a beautiful poem about a paintbrush, and then I created a song on the spot about it, and showing them that they can do that. So you can differentiate depending on who your kids are.
Not only that, we had a girl who did like spoken word. So we just like, she talked and we just created the atmosphere for her spoken word. And we let them, like, we didn't have any bars of what they could talk about. We had the girls in middle school, they wrote a story. Somebody died and the body washed up on the ocean, and that was the story that they created, but it was all improv and everybody who participated had to give a line. And you know, death was now a welcome guest in that particular story. And so we went with it, but we wanted to hear their creativity. So now we didn't let the story get too far. We didn't go too far left, but we let them tell their story. And in their story, a dead body washed up on the ocean, and that's what happened. So yeah, I don't know. So we let them be themselves though. Now, when death came up a second and third time, we had to have a conversation with that girl to make sure she was actually okay. Like, baby, everybody don't have to die. Some people live. So, you know, we had a side conversation with her after that just to check on her mental health. But, you know, other than that, We let them do it.
Yeah. And so we wanted to engage with them both inside and outside of classroom. So I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but there is an online program that's called Padlet. And it's super easy to use. It's free for the first, I want to say 3 to 5 classes that you create. It might just be 3. But what you can do in this Padlet is allow them to share in a space that kind of looks like social media without actually being social media. So when you make a Padlet, you can just create whatever design you want it to be. It can be like a Facebook wall. It can be a canvas where things are like flying from one place to the area. It can be a stream like Instagram, which most of your kids probably know the best, right? So you would create a stream, and then, oh, this is my supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Padlet. It creates a name for you before you change it. And then you can add different elements into your Padlet. And the best part about it is you can create a password protected one that allows for you to control who is accessing it. So it can be just your kids from whatever classroom it might be. So if we did a dance that day, we'd say, hey, you love our dance? Go ahead and upload a video of yourself dancing. And they would do that. And then there were little comment features where all their friends would be like, that's so cool, or that was amazing. And so it's allowing them to interact outside of the classroom and give them a chance to stick with music even when we weren't right there with them. So we want to go a little bit through each of our levels, because I know we have elementary folks in here, we have middle school folks, and we have high school folks in here. So we want to just give you an idea of what we did and what we found successful for each level. Maria, you want to take that away?
You go ahead.
Oh, I got it?
I got a tech thing, so.
Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead,
all right, so with elementary, here are a couple keys to our success with elementary. Not much different than the regular classroom. We changed activities every like 7 to 10 minutes. All the time, you're just switching activities, always being ready to do something new. We included a movement activity just about every 20 minutes or so. So if you have a 45-minute classroom, make sure you have 2 to 3 movement activities as you're going through. It doesn't have to be a dance. It can be anything. It could be like a poison solfege kind of a game as you're going through, just as long as they're moving and showing that they're learning. The one thing that's challenging about virtual learning is instead of listening to them learning, you have to see them learning. And that was a big part of why we wanted to have their videos on, so that when my hand moves, your hand moves. So if I showed them a solfege pattern, do, so, mi, I would see their hands moving and know that they're learning with me. And that's why that was super important. We had them raise their hands if they wanted to say something, or they could use the reactions tool down at the bottom of their Zoom screen. Not sure what that looks like for Google Hangouts or for Microsoft, but I'm sure there's a reactions option somewhere in there, and they could put a little thumbs up, they could put a star, there are all different sorts of reactions you can have going on. And then I think the biggest thing, like overall for elementary, is not being afraid to be silly, because they are going to be the ultimate goofballs in the very best possible way, and running with that and loving that and not being afraid, especially in this time, to let things derail. That's okay. A lot of us, I think we get, okay, this is the plan and they have to learn this on this day. These are unprecedented times. I don't know about y'all, but I am super focused as a human. But when I'm sitting on a Zoom call, sometimes I get like totally distracted, and that's what the kids are going through too. So realizing what they're going through and just riding that with them was super important for our elementary kids.
So one other thing that I'll add to that, my tech issue is over. We read the room. So just like I said earlier, in a normal classroom, if you see that the room is going dull, or people are not paying attention, or people that they're going to sleep, like just get them up and do something. One of my favorite things was music and science, was pairing music to something else. So we did a science experiment about pitch, which I found on YouTube, where we had these, I had like glasses of water that I dyed with different food colors. And we had spoons, and we would hit, and we would see like which one made the highest pitch, which one had the lowest pitch. That's something I got in costume for. So I bought a lab jacket from Amazon. It was like $15. Bought a lab jacket, goggles. Like I really made science fun and put that into our lesson. We made lava lamps one day. You can find that on YouTube as well. And then we used that to put it back into our lessons. So the day we made lava lamps was our disco lesson, which was a lesson that also was for, what lesson did we do with the
That was our
disco?
harmony day, because
Yeah, it
I
was
don't know about
harmony.
y'all, but the disco has some amazing harmonies.
And so we used that. Then we showed videos off YouTube. And if you can't use YouTube in school, there are ways that you can get those videos off YouTube. You may want to inbox me about that.
Teacher tube.
How? Yeah, you can convert that. But there's ways you can do that so you can still use those videos, and they're not technically on YouTube per se. I hope that's legal. If not, don't tell them I told you. But anyway, there are ways to use those videos So one thing we did, like with the pitch video, we found a video from Harry Potter, and there was a guy who had like 20 glasses that he used, and he used he used his fingers and had different levels of water in there and created the Harry Potter song. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. I know it's in the wrong key. Don't judge me on it. But we had that video, but we've always found ways to bring it back to what we were talking about. So music and science. This is not something that we did in camp, but I made a song about music, putting music to math. So finding ways that has their core subject. Music, look, we could put music to all these different things. And remember, educators, before there was a YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, we were the original creators. That's us. So use your creative brain that you already have and find ways to take that music that we already do and pair with something else. So we did that as well, but also always trying to find things that were relevant to the kids.
Making sure that they're relevant. I love that you brought that up. That was the key to what we did. Finding songs that they love and then listening to them and figuring out, okay, what musical element would be really good to teach in this? Yes. So I found a song that was made in 2019 by a guy named Guy Sebastian, who's actually an Australian artist. And I ended up creating a dance for pitch to it. So I'm just gonna, you can dance along with me if you want to, or I'll just kind of show it as you're going through so you can get an idea of what it goes like. It's called Choir. All right, so it goes like this. It has to do with pitch. See if you can figure out how. Make sure that we can hear this.
'Cause now you're singing with the choir. Now you're dancing with the crew. You ain't doing this solo. We all riding with you. No one put in your fire. Nobody feeling your shoes. 'Cause now you're singing with the choir. We all riding with you. Yeah, we fill up all our days with working and grinding just to make ends meet. Too busy to call, we'll catch up next week. And then it gets to next week and we say maybe next week. And then before you know, we are feeling old, asking ourselves, where did my friends go? So don't wait till they go home. Now you're singing with the choir. Now you're dancing with the crew. You ain't doing this solo. We all riding with you. No one can put out your fire. Nobody feeling your shoes. 'Cause now you're singing with the choir. We all riding with you. Yeah.
So that song right there, I just took the chorus and one verse and I just pieced it out of the song. And we talked about pitch. Someone want to real quick throw in the chat, how did that have to do with pitch? Did you figure out how our dance moves had to do with pitch in the song? If anyone knows, ascending and descending, yes. Because now you're singing with the choir. Now you're dancing with the crew. They're learning about highs and lows through music. And we talked about that afterward, once they really got excited about the dance. And they posted this all over the Padlet. They love choir. And I will say, y'all, this song worked for elementary, middle, and high school. It was shocking. We didn't think it would, but they really, really enjoyed the song. With high schoolers, we delved even more into the lyrics, because if you piece out this portion of the song, it sounds very positive, but it's actually kind of a eulogy to a friend if you listen to the other verses. So we're talked about how that feels and what that was, what those lyrics had to do with everything. Sorry. You might realize as you get out of breath after doing all these dances, but you get into really good shape. So we played games, like we said, like Poison Solfege, and then we also tried to relate to them by realizing they will all be on smart devices, whether it's theirs or their parents, they will all have access to a smart device. Now, if they don't, what we do recommend is at the very beginning, if you can do an anonymous poll and have them say if they have access to a smart device, because we do not want to exclude any child that does not have access to a smart device. If they don't have access, don't worry about doing these things. But if they do, we had great success with showing them free apps that are on Androids, on Apple, on all different sorts of devices that they could play with, both in class and outside of class, to keep practicing. So do I have time to do this, Maria? I just want to show them real quick what Sound Sky is. Okay, so you can, in Zoom, if you are a Zoom person, and sorry, I don't know about Microsoft or Google, but in Zoom, you can connect an iPad or an iPhone to that Zoom. So if I resume the share here, my screen should, there we go. Okay, so we played a game called Sound Sky, and this might be a little bit loud. So if I'm pausing this for a moment so you can hear me, what I did is had the kids play with me. So, let's see. They're learning about beat. You get the idea there. I'm not going to make you guys keep doing that all the way through. But as you can show them a bunch of free apps, play them right there in class, and they can just pretend with you and then go home and play those on their own. That app was called Sound Sky, one word, Sound Sky. Really good for the littles that are working on rhythm and working on your rights and your lefts as you're going through. So
The way,
yes.
I don't know if y'all can see me, but the way they played is they had their thumbs up. So it was boom, bop, boom, boom, bop. So we were just playing along as she was doing it in real life. She played like, she had an app that had like piano playing in it. You had to play the different notes and things like that. Will that be affected by lag? Depending on their internet connection, but once you hear it, you can get the rhythm. So long as they were still using, you can kind of feel where the rhythm's going. Boom, bop,
Yep.
boom, boom, bop.
So
Like,
it will look off to you, but to them it will be on. Yep. So let's move on to middle school. Some keys to success for middle school. Now I will tell y'all, Maria is like the pro middle school teacher. She can engage those kiddos like nobody else.
so middle school, I love my middle school babies because they haven't decided if they're grown people or if they're still babies. And because since they don't know, then I don't know either. And I just work with you where you're at. So if we do an activity, let's say if we try My Bonnie and they're not getting with it, okay, I'm going to pivot and I'm going to something else. And then we start asking them like, what do you want? What do you guys really want to learn? What do y'all want to do in this camp? Oh, well, we're writing songs and I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do that. Okay, fine. So then I built the camp based off what they said. So we talked about pivoting. That was a huge pivot for us because what we planned for them for the week, Monday, they made us know very quickly and not rude, but they let us know that they had some different things they wanted to learn. So we pivoted to switch to what they wanted to learn about. And then the middle school camp was awesome. So it's a lot of reading the room and it's a lot of being in between. So what works in high school may not work in middle school, but you can use some components from high school and some components from elementary and they're just fine. The thing I think that the girls loved most in middle school was the improv stuff. And we made everything, like I said, we made everything like it was just our own little TV show. I put Morgan on the spot and let her do some improv. One day she had to do an infomercial about her diction books that she was not prepared to do, but it was absolutely hilarious and brilliant because the kids got to see her sweat a little bit. And then it kind of took the pressure off of them when it was their turn to do it. So we did lots of improv activities. I wrapped green eggs and ham for them. I put it to my own beat and wrapped it for them. And they loved that. They really got into that, which is really fun. We got into their world. So they had a fashion show. We told them like on this day, this is your fashion show. Put on your best clothes and we're going to talk about it. And what we did with that is we just celebrated whatever it was. And even if they said, well, I'm weird, well, we celebrated you're weird. If you're weird, Heather, I'm picking on you. If your weird was that you had purple hair, well, I'm celebrating your purple hair, and I love your purple hair. And we had one girl who loved cats, so she wore cat gloves the whole camp, and for her fashion show, she had on these big cat paws. Okay, we celebrated the cat paws. So we celebrated everything that they brought to us. We celebrated that. Now, did we have some girls who were kind of negative in some ways? Yeah, but we celebrated that as well. So if you were kind of, on the negative side, then we would push you back over more to the positive side, never making that person feel bad, but just celebrating who they are and always gearing them toward being back positive. So that was the things that we did in middle school. High school girls, we went into their worlds. What are you into now? Well, high schoolers are all about their TikToks and their Instagrams and their social media accounts. And so we dove into the social media accounts, and we talked about branding. We talked about branding on the Zoom call. What does your posture say about you on the Zoom? If you slouched over and you laying down, well, what does that tell me about you? So we had a session where we talked about posture, and we talked about how you look inviting, and how this way, when your chest is open and you look more free, that's more inviting to me as the presenter, to know that you're really receiving what I'm saying, versus when you got your hand on your hip and you like looking at me like this, like you really don't care what's going on. And so we talked to them about that. We talked to them about what's good branding, what's not so good branding. We put that into the music. What does this music say about this person? What kind of brand is this person giving out? And that resonated with them all so much, because it's what they're doing now. They're all trying to figure out who they are. And we put that into aspects of scholarships. If I'm your teacher and I got to recommend you for something, and every time you get on my Zoom, you laying down, well, when it's time for me to write your recommendation, all I can say is she really knows how to lay down on the Zoom call, because that's all I see about her. She has a nice scalp. I can tell you that, because that's what I see of her. But I can't tell you nothing else about it, because she doesn't participate. So we talked about all of that, and they got a really good understanding about that.
And they related, like we said, we related everything back to music. So for example, on our Melody Day, we talked about the science of earworms. And Oliver Sacks has a fabulous book called Musicophilia, very readable for a music educator. And in this book, he talks about the science of why things get stuck in our head. So then we related it to their lives. What do you want to get stuck in other people's heads about you? How do you want to be remembered? And so we talked about that and really dove into that with our conversations. Like we said, we did lots of singing. For example, we did some rounds. One, for example, I would teach them, and then I would play that backing track from a cappella, or I just created one on GarageBand, like I said, like 3 minutes before this whole thing started. And it starts in unison.
Clap your hands, sing and rejoice. Sing hallelujah, clap your hands, sing and rejoice.
And then it goes into 4 parts, so they can join.
Sing hallelujah, clap your hands, hallelujah, clap your hands, hallelujah, clap your hands,
And it just repeats. And it gives them a chance to sing with you. This is a great round for audiation. So that right there took me 3 minutes to make. You know why? Because all I did was sit at my computer at GarageBand and go, okay, sing hallelujah, clap your hands, sing and rejoice. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, done. And that was a round. You don't have to record over yourself a bunch of times. You can just copy and paste it on free programs, such as GarageBand or a similar kind of thing. Yes, we can share those rounds with you. That is Sing Hallelujah. You can actually add claps to it. Sing hallelujah, clap your hands, sing and rejoice. And then have them audiate and only clap as they're going along, and see if they can come in where they were supposed to be later on. Audiation, all good things that we want to be teaching our kids, but we want to be respectful of your time. And so we want to give you a couple little things just as your takeaways. Hopefully you have some activities and things that you're excited about. As we're going through these takeaways, if you'll write in the chat either one thing that you're going to bring back to your classroom, or one thing that you're really excited about for this upcoming year from this session or not from this session, will you just throw that in the chat while we're giving you guys these final takeaways, just so everyone can see all the positivity and love that we all have as educators. I'm just super excited about everything that we have going on. Zumba level energy. Oh, this brings me joy. So a couple of our takeaways. I think the biggest thing is to just be yourself. Be authentic. I am this like super high energy crazy person, and that's okay because it works for me. Maria is more like chill, down to earth. Let's have this conversation, but I'm gonna throw like a groove or craziness at you every now and then, and that works for her. So don't try to be us. You be you. Take these things, these activities, and put them into your style, into whatever is authentically you. And here's my challenge to you. That Sing Hallelujah, that was on one take. I did it one take and I didn't listen to it again. I didn't let myself re-record. I did not let myself make it perfect because we don't want our kids to be perfect. We can't. That's not who they are. That's not who we are. We want them to be authentic. So I challenge you, if you make a video for your kids, hit record once and stop. Show them who you are, mess and all. So that is my one takeaway. Maria, what's your takeaway?
All right, so look, everybody is new to this virtual world, okay? Everybody is new to it. So we're not gonna be 100% correct every time. That's okay. If you mess up, that's okay. No, your kids do not care. Trust me. They will appreciate the mess ups because it shows them that you're human. So mess up, mess up, and it's fine. And all that, like I said earlier, mess up, laugh about it, and move forward. They're going to appreciate that. And let them know, one thing that we started every session with was, this is a safe space. Our classroom is safe. So whatever happens in this classroom, we're going to keep it in this classroom, and it's safe. You're going to mess up. I'm going to ask you to sing sometimes because we had them sing. I'm going to ask you to sing. Your voice may crack. That's fine, because every time Maria goes to sing, honey, this voice is not always together. Actually, earlier today, this voice was a hot mess. But Gatorade, thank you for Gatorade, kind of helped me get my voice back together. So just be ready to mess up, own it, and have fun with it. Everybody, we're all new to this virtual learning space. You do not have to be perfect. Another thing is, when in doubt or you need some help, call somebody. All of us, I believe every last one of us will be willing to help each other. So please call and get some help. We called because, like I said, neither of us are composers. So we called the experts. And Susan Brumfield, who I believe is still on the call, she was so great, so gracious to be a part of this with us. Is Dana still on here? I think we had Dana. Dana was on here earlier. Yeah, Dana's on here. So Dana's on here. She was one of our composers who came in, but we just called and we asked for 15 minutes of their time. And then, you know what we did? We sent them a love token, an appreciation token for being a part of our session. It wasn't much, but we did send them something to say thank you for being a part of the session. So be gracious to your colleagues who do pop in, even if they're doing it for free. Send them some type of love token just to show how much you appreciate them. What else?
Well, we really want to respect your time, I think. So
yes, we need to take questions.
Yes, no, I'm going to say, so that is the end of our little presentation. But if folks have questions about their specific situation or what we did or anything like that, we would love to hear and answer any questions you might have. Just unmute yourself and let's see what you have. Thank you all for being here. You are amazing, absolutely amazing for doing this. Everyone's a first-year teacher, and that is hard, and y'all are so fantastic for doing it.
So any questions? Nobody got a question?
We were so clear.
Boom.
What sort of things were like your composer friends coming in and doing, like stuff with your specialty, or just any musical moment or question and answers, or?
Yes. So like we said, every day was dedicated to something different. So like the person who came in on the day we talked about melody, that composer came in and talked about how they create melodies, how they created, how do they create the form of the songs that they create? How do they get inspired? So we had conversations with the composers that said, this is what we're talking about on this day. And if you can target your discussion toward this, that would be helpful for the girls. And then the girls just started asking questions. So that's kind of what we did with the composers.
And we also had them, if they were a singer-songwriter, we had them sing or play for us. The girls loved getting to hear their original compositions. Even if they were not a singer-songwriter, they played a composition. I know Susan played some things from her compositions, and they loved being able to share that. Other questions? Anything at all?
I'm
Ladies, how did you, oh, sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
How did you have any kind of virtual kind of wrap up to your time together? Did you record some sort of performance? You know, there's all this push right now to do these virtual choirs, and that's really hard. And how did you kind of wrap it up and give it all kind of that final bow on the package?
All right. So
can I take the first part of this?
Sure.
Okay. So because sorry, I'm very excited about this because this has been part of my summer. So what we had is they created compositions. So like Maria said, beginning of middle school week, we were like, okay, y'all, this is a composition camp. And all of them went, no, I will not. I'm too afraid. By the end of the Friday, we had 10 original full-length compositions by middle school girls. And what we did, we had them come up with a melody and lyrics that they videoed and sent the lyrics to us. Then what I did, and this did not actually take as long as I thought it would, it was just about 30 minutes a song. I transcribed them. So they now have, and I think I have some parents on here from camp, so shh, don't tell them yet. But I have transcribed their song. So they have like an original piece of sheet music that is their song that they created. So that was the first part of our like little final product. And then we also had, Maria?
So we also had, I combined, try it again. See, my mess up. Our camp was partnered with a company called Life Arts, and Life Arts is going to produce these songs for them. So they'll actually get a produced version. Mom, don't tell that. They'll actually get a produced version of their songs as well. For the elementary, what we did for them is they had a talent show at the end of the week. So that was our kind of our wrap up, but we also gave each girl an award that they'll be sent out to them. So we had a girl who had a donkey, and so she got the animal care award. Yeah, we had a girl who had a pet donkey. Yeah, yeah. So she got the animal care award, and we had a girl who loved cats, so she got the cat lady award. Like we just made up all these little corny awards and sent them out to the kids. But we used things that would make them feel special, and also it also let them know that we were paying attention to them all week. So they always felt connected, and that's one of the reasons why I love Tell Me Something Good, because I can always go back to what they told me and connect it back to them. So that was kind of what we did. High school, same thing. They got to write their own songs, and those songs got transcribed and will be sent out to them as well, and they'll be produced. So that was the wrap up for them.
And just like Maria said, for those talent shows, which we actually had for elementary, middle school, and high school, and we had our high schoolers teach us whatever they did for their talent. So we had like a makeup artist that then taught us how to do makeup. It was awesome. We had a little bit of everything. We had them flood the chat. I wrote down on the side of my screen the order of our talent show. And then we would keep the chat closed and then open it after each person went, flood with love, and close it. Why? Because then afterward, I could go through, and based on the times the chat were written, I was able to pull all of those positive comments and send them to each girl, to send them all of their peers' positive comments about their talent show act. So just again, another way for them to see that we care and their peers care.
Now, one thing we didn't talk about, and Catherine, I'm coming to you next. Earlier, we did all the girls created a passport license, a driver's license. That's what they actually did. It was a driver's license. They all created a driver's license that kind of showed off who they are. So that gave us their names, favorite colors, their pronouns, because we wanted to be respectful of their pronouns and things like that. So we got their pronouns. We got what state they were from. There is a template that'll be out later on. But we got information from them, and we were writing every day. We were writing down this information from these girls again, so we can know who we're working with, and we can refer back to that to let them know that we really knew who they was. All right, Catherine, what's your question, love?
Well, I am one of the lovely middle school teachers, or I should say, one of the people that chose to work with the, pubescent humans that have so many ideas all the time. But I feel like so many of them are so hesitant to be confident, and they're going to be putting in new groups this year, and we're doing like a hybrid. So I know you already talked about middle school things, but is there anything you did not share that you love about, to do with middle school? Really any voices that just builds confidence. I would just love to hear one more tidbit because I've learned so much already. So thank you.
Yeah, with the middle school kids, again, I think the best thing that we did with middle school was pivot quickly. If we was reading that the activity was not going well, we was like changing that activity like as soon as we saw faces going down, like, I don't want to do this. Okay, let's find something else to do. So we constantly changed activities. And then once they got into something, we rode that. So if they got into improv, all right, it's improv, let's go. And we would take that lesson and we would take it and twist it all the different angles that it needed to go. But we really, really was focusing in on things that they really liked. We also learned that some things worked in high school, but didn't work in middle school. So that was something that was really interesting. Like the rap, the green eggs and ham rap actually flopped middle school, but high school loved it, which I thought was crazy because I thought the middle school kids would really get into that, but it flopped bad in middle school. But we were able to just pivot and keep going. So whatever crazy ideas that you have in your head, I say just try them. With middle school, you never know what's going to stick. So try it, because that's what, normally I run a middle school camp anyway, and I just throw stuff and see what's going to work. Some stuff works, some stuff don't. Okay, if it works, I'm keeping it. If it don't work, we'll try it another day. But just keep trying activities. Middle schoolers love to show you what they can do. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of what they can do or what they do. Oh, I braid hair. Really good. Get a piece of hair and braid it for me so I can watch you do it. Just finding those things that they like to do and taking advantage of that. Ashley, you have your hand up. Go for it, love.
So how many did you have in your camp for each grade level? What was your max?
All right. So
I'm sorry. Because I have like a list of questions. So I wanted to know time, like what was your max of how many you had per class, and the time frame of each class and the breaks that you took in between. How did that all fall?
Great question. I'm happy to take that. So we decided we wanted to have the number, because we had choices for this. We wanted to have the number of kids that we could fit on a Zoom screen. So including us, that was 23 kids, because you can fit 25 on a Zoom screen.
For elementary.
Right. For elementary. For middle school and high school, we had 22 kids because we knew we'd have guests coming in and out of our classes as they went through. And then for our schedule, we had long days. We had an hour and a half for our elementary kids, and we had 2 hours for middle school and high school. And like we said, we were pivoting every 10 minutes, especially for elementary. Middle school, probably about every 15-ish minutes, unless it was something that was not going well, in which case we real quick got off of that. But we had our plan ready to go. And then we had breaks, I would say just about at the hour for both middle school and high school. We had a little 5-minute break, whether that was go get some water and you can turn your video off while we have some music playing, or we had like a dance break, but if you don't want to join, then that's okay. That kind of thing. We did yoga breaks. I did some yoga with them in the middle of the class. Whatever we could do just to get them moving and engaged all the way through.
And like we said, stuff that we tried a lot of activities in all the different levels. So just because something looks elementary, don't be afraid to try that with your high schoolers. My high school choir, we did Barney. If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain there would be. Well, I let my high schoolers TikTok it, and they loved it. So I told them, I said, you all come up with the dance moves and let's go. And so they took that little elementary song and they put some dance moves. Everything had to be clean. You cannot do the nasty dances on my video. But they did clean dance moves to it, and they loved it. So don't think because something sounds elementary that your other kids can't get into it, because they absolutely can. Now that works in the virtual world as well. I didn't do this in this camp, but I did another camp with elementary girls. I let them create the dance moves to a song. So everybody had to come up, we were talking about form, and everybody had to come up with a dance. And we all just learned a different dance. So somebody may have said, well, I'm on Millie, I think it's the Millie Rock, I think so. Don't talk about me if it's not the Millie Rock. And then somebody hit the whoa. And then somebody had, some snakes going on. And we had, these things going on. But we had it into a form where they learned the form. We put some stepping, like the African-American tradition of the body percussion with step moves. We did a step routine in middle school, I believe that was. No, was it middle?
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah. So we did a step routine in elementary school, all types of things to put all these different genres of music in there. So those are things you can use as well. Before we go Morgan, because I don't want to forget.
Oh, so really big news. So y'all have been so positive in the chat, which has been phenomenal. We are actually going to be putting out some products. So if you like what you have seen today and you want to know more, we are putting out some things probably within the next week or so. We have your email addresses, which is fabulous. Watch your email, including your spam box, because sometimes MailChimp sends things to spam. Not sure why. Put us as a safe sender, info@girlconductor.com. But we will have activities coming out. We will have an improv bundle. We're going to have a movement bundle, and all of these lessons or activities will be put in. Here's how to do it virtually. Here's how to do it when you have half kids virtual, half kids in person. Here's how to do it when you have all the kids in person. So you have activities for whatever situation we might end up with in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout in your email for those. We're so excited for those to be coming out and share the fun things that we've been able to do with our kids.
So also you can follow us. You can always find me at girlconductor.com on all your social media platforms. Girl Conductor on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, but don't really look at that. And Snapchat, don't look at that either. But you can always find me at any of those platforms. Morgan, you can find Morgan. Tell them your social media platforms.
Mine is just my name. I am kind of under the Girl Conductor brand, which is awesome. But you can find me at Morgan Luttig for Facebook, Instagram, also Snapchat. When's the last time I used a Snapchat? I don't know. But you'll find me on all of these things. You can email us at info@girlconductor.com or at morgan.luttig@gmail.com. And we will answer any questions that you might have. We want to stay in touch. We are here for you. This is not a one-time thing.
Somebody said, can they hear my green eggs and ham rap?
Well, I mean, I'm down.
Really?
If you would like to hear the green eggs and ham rap, give me a wave. Give me a wave. Send me some good juju. All right, Missy, it's up to you.
That's funny. Okay, I'm not doing the whole thing because do y'all realize how long these little Dr. Seuss books are? These books are long, so I ain't doing the whole thing. But and don't laugh at me. Are we still recording this? Okay, here we go. I am Sam. What? I am Sam. What? I am Sam. Who? Sam I am. That Sam I am. That Sam I am. I do not like that Sam and am. But do you like green eggs and ham? I said I do not like them Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. What? 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 He said, would you eat them here or there? I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. What? I said, I do not like them, Sam, I am. What? Said, would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. What? I said, I do not like them, Sam, I am. Oh, Sam, I am. So then I just keep going. And then what I try to do, because that book is like really long, what I try to do is like breathe so I can get the whole phrase going. Because, as the book goes on, like he goes like in a car, in a train, in the rain, and some other stuff. But I try to use my breath and model that for them, how to do a long phrase with the breath. So it's all about phrasing. That's one activity that we do that with, is just
And you
phrasing.
can have them bring their own children's books too. Have them wrap their own children's book. then they're learning as they're going through. I bet they have some children's books at home. If not, there are free libraries online that they can get them.
Yeah, so rapping, phrasing, that's also a great brain break. With my elementary babies, before when we were all in person, one thing I used to do for a brain break is I would read to them. But I wouldn't read like, green eggs and ham. Said Sam I am. No, I would never read it like that. But I may say, would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. So I was always like really, really animated with how I read to them, to keep them engaged. Or if it was a book that I had virtually, I would let them read. So like, you read this line and then you take the next line and things like that. So just finding ways to keep them engaged. I feel like I just made a fool of myself, but here we
beautiful.
are, virtual learning.
All the love.
So we want to be respectful of your time, guys. We really do. And we really appreciate you all jumping on. We do plan to offer virtual events coming up. We have a back to school event planned for our babies, as well as a Halloween event. There'll be a holiday event that'll happen. So please stay connected to girlconductor.com. We'll send that information out so you can send it to your students. Whatever things that we can do to keep them engaged in the music, that's what I'm about. And also remember, guys, there are no rules this year with what we do with our learning. We create it. We can change the game, guys. We can change the game and make this whatever we want it to be. Just make sure that it's super positive, that it's super engaged, and that your students can always feel that you love them. If they can feel that, then you are already ahead of the game. This pandemic has taught me, if nothing else, the sky's the limit. We just got to take advantage of it and go with it. All right? That's all we have. So I guess
Thank you all.
Anything else? Morgan, start the music. Let's dance.
I will start the music. Here we go.
Ain't got a soapbox I can stand upon, but God gave me a stage, a
Dance your way
guitar,
out,
and a
friends.
song.
Thank you for coming.
Daddy told me, son, don't you get involved in politics, religions, other people's quarrels. I'll